Peace, family. Today we're discussing how to kill procrastination and to completely exit out of your life. Stay tuned. Good morning. My name is Hadida. I am an holistic healer. I am the owner of This Red Tent. I am also a woman empowerer. Empowerer. I never get it right, but I made it my own word. I basically am in the business of empowering women and building up the African American community and all communities of humanity, but specifically the African American community by way of empowering the women. Okay, so today we're going to discuss exactly how you can go about killing procrastination. So, tip number 1, I want you to make a obsession statement. And I call it an obsession statement because whatever it is that you're trying to kill procrastination about needs to be something that you are enthusiastic about. Right? We don't want to do anything that we're dreading to do. So in order for you to kill procrastination with a particular issue, you have to go and be enthusiastic about completing this task. How do you do that? You think about the benefits that completing the task will give you in your life. So that is tip number 1. Tip number 2. In addition to making the obsession statement, after you come up with this obsession statement, what I want you to do is I want you to write it down in the journal that I talked to you guys about in a previous video. And if you don't know that video, I'll make sure I'll list it right here. I made another video that talked about making a vision journal. I want you to write down your obsession statement in your vision journal, right? And I want you to read this obsession statement in the morning and in the night of the day that you will set out to make this thing that you procrastinating about a reality. Okay. And what that's going to do is that's going to make that a part of your subconscious mind. So throughout the day, while you're going throughout your day, you're going to be looking back at your list of things that you want to accomplish, and you're going to be looking at your obsession statement. And when you look at your obsession statement, it's going to feed you and push you to achieve that. Okay. Tip number 3, we're going to do the 30-day procrastination diet. In order for you to completely exit procrastination out of your life, you have to get into the habit of doing things that you don't want to do for 21 days. So what does that mean? That means you're going to sit down. You're going to write a list of 30 things that you have been procrastinating about. It could be something small like taking this bag of clothes to the Goodwill, or it could be something large like writing a business plan for my clothing line. Whatever it is that you've been procrastinating about, today, not tomorrow, because we're getting in a habit of doing things now and not later. Today, I want you to sit down right now after you watch this video, and I want you to write down a list of 30 things. After you write down this list of 30 things, you're going to assign each of those things to a calendar. Right? So for the next 30 days, today is now February the 10th. So for the next 30 days, up until, let's just say that this month actually had 30 days, you will go up until March 10th. And you will write down the 30 things that you want to get rid of. And every single day in the morning, when you start out, you're going to be looking at it on your planner, and you're going to be looking at it in your vision journal. And you're going to say, oh, okay, today my task is taking that bag of clothes to the Goodwill. Tomorrow my task is making dinner for the whole week instead of waiting to cook dinner each day. Whatever it may be, you're going to write it down in your journal, and you're going to exit off of your list every single day. Okay, tip number 4, I want you to work out and exercise. Now, you may be like, what does working out and exercising have to do with doing something that I don't want to do. Reality is when you work out and you exercise, you release happy hormones, right? And these happy hormones are pulsing throughout your body. And it's this happy hormone and this happy energy that allows you to get up, and it allows you to go and set out to complete the task that you don't want to do. So if you're not a person that can get out and you can move and do a whole lot of strenuous exercise, simply go walk around the block. Go do a couple of stretches. Say you're completing a task that you are tired of doing or you don't want to do. Get up and literally run in place for about a good 5 seconds. Then sit back down and go back to working. Now, 5 seconds is not a lot, but if you can put in more time to go and exercise, do that. Because when you're starting to feel tired, you're starting to feel lazy, you're starting to feel lackadaisical, and you don't want to complete something, the thing to do is to get up and to set out to complete another task. So running in place is going to make you get up and put your body in motion, which is something that prevents you from sitting still and becoming a procrastinator. I'm tongue-tied today, y'all. I'm sorry. So tip number 3 is for you to get up and exercise. Also, what this is going to do is this is going to exercise your willpower. What does willpower have to do with procrastination? Willpower is that driving force in your life that makes you do the things that you do every single day. So if your willpower is weak, it's like a muscle. Willpower is a muscle. If your willpower is weak, you're not exercising it, right? And if you're not exercising your willpower, it becomes like a person who doesn't work on a regular basis, flabby and full of skin and all of this stuff hanging off of them. The stuff hanging off of you is your procrastination. So we want to exercise our willpower, which imagine your willpower being like your solar plex chakra and your core muscles. If you work out your willpower, which is your solar plexus and your core muscles every day, you're going to have a 6-pack ab, right? So we have a 6-pack worth of ab in our willpower. There's nothing that's preventing us from having extremely strong core strength. And your core strength, when you're working out on the non-physical realm, is your willpower. So your core strength relates to your willpower. And when you work out this willpower, just like you work out a muscle, it becomes stronger. And over time, your willpower becomes so strong that even when you say, oh man, I really don't feel like doing that, you're so in the habit of just, okay, let me just hurry up and get it done. Get the attitude, let me just hurry up and get it done so that I can move on to the next thing and do something that I really want to do, rather than saying, oh man, I got to do that. All right, in 5 more minutes. All right, in 10 more minutes. No, get up and do it now. If we get up and we do it now and we don't put off for tomorrow what we can do today, then we are Xing out the potential for becoming a procrastinator or staying in the energy of procrastination. Okay, tip number 5, create a distraction-free environment. What do I mean by distraction-free environment? If you have a lot of clutter or you have a lot of mess around you, it is going to mess up your brain waves. And what I mean by that is like, okay, say I had a pile in my workspace, I had a pile of dirty clothes, right? And those dirty clothes have been sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. When I go to actually work on my paperwork, I'm going to go to look up when I go to think and be like, oh, wow, I got that pile of dirty clothes. Oh, man. Okay, I really need to go and wash those clothes. Your mind gets distracted, right? 95% of what we do on a daily basis comes from our subconscious mind. Subconsciously, you'll be thinking about and running through the house chores and the tasks that you need to do while you're working on what it is that you're supposed to, or while you're supposed to be working on what it is that you're supposed to be doing. You will be running those things through your mind, and those things will create a blockage for you. And that blockage will say, okay, I need to go wash those clothes before I go and I do such and such. I need to go wash those dishes before I go and do such and such. And if that's your mindset and if that's your mind frame, then that is taking you away from and giving you a reason to procrastinate on accomplishing the task that you had already said that you were going to set out to do. So you want to create a clutter-free and mess-free environment, because white spaces with no craziness inside of this space, say like a pile of clothes or a pile of dirt or kids sprawled all over, toys sprawled all over from the children playing, or I don't know, paperwork stacked up to the ceiling. All of those things creates clutter, and clutter takes up free space in the brain. When we look at it, we can't scan a room and not see any junk around the room. That means that it's taking up a space in our subconscious mind. Okay. Tip number 6, you have to release self-sabotage. If you want to become procrastination free, you have to become the person who is willing to take your life seriously, who is willing to release all self-sabotaging thoughts and actions. If you know that what it is that you need to do is helping you move on to be your next and greatest self, that means that you have to start today wanting to help and love yourself out of the space that you were in. This year, our hashtag is unapologetically excellent, right? And if we're being unapologetically excellent, we are not self-sabotagers. We are not people who is putting our time and our energy into stagnating our own selves. Matter of fact, not only are we not letting ourselves become a hindrance to what we want to accomplish, we are also not letting others do that for us. So you are also going to remove not only your own self-sabotaging thoughts and actions, you are going to remove people from your life who have been helping you to sabotage your own greatest good. And that could be a girlfriend that you've been friends with since elementary school. That could be a husband or a mate that's been just sitting there holding up extra space. And by all means, I do not encourage divorce, right? But if the person is not in alignment, sometimes we make bad decisions on the partners that we're with. And it's our partner that is creating a hindrance in our life, and that's creating a roadblock. And the minute we get rid of the person that has been creating this roadblock, who could potentially be our mate, we get rid of the problems that we've been having. We get rid of the blockage that's been in our lives. And as women, I always talk about, we are the ones who hold the ability to uplift our communities. And if we are in a stagnated state of mind because of our mate or because of problems that were going on with our children, we have to pray about it. And then when spirit says we have to release it, we have to release it. If everything in your gut is telling you that this person is not in alignment with you and your highest good and your greatest good, release them. Release them into the universe. Recently, I just ended a marriage that I was in for over 10 years. And I released this marriage because this was not a person who was ultimately helping me to be my greatest good. They were taking away from me. They were draining me of my energy that I would have otherwise been putting into my child, that I would have otherwise been putting into my business, that I would have otherwise been putting into myself first, right? As women, and if you, brothers, you on air, but specifically as women, we have to focus on self, right? Because if we're 100%, then we can feed and we can nourish the children, the husband, the community. But if we're lacking, we cannot feed and help anyone else. All right. Tip number 7. Okay. Part of your 30-day procrastination diet will be that you write down these tasks that you've been wanting to do, right? So say, for example, you've already completed that task and now you're like, for me, I said that I was going to start today in only working for myself, no longer working for any other entity or business other than me, right? Okay. Part of that is I have these extremely long work days. And something that could help me procrastinate in doing a task is potentially sitting down and thinking about, oh my God, to sit down and make this pile of earrings that I want to do is going to take me about 5 hours. And so instead of working on the earrings, I might go and say, wash dishes instead. And then when I get done the dishes, I'll say, oh man, all right, I still got to do these earrings. And then instead of working on the earrings, I might go and say, okay, let me help Rukaya do her such and such project. And then I'll come back and be like, okay, now I got to do the earrings. If I set up in my mind, okay, I'm going to work on this stack of earrings for 5 hours. Rather than me putting off starting on them, I'm going to start on them. And then when I begin to get restless from working on those earrings, I'm going to switch to another task that also needs to be completed that day, and then do that for a period of time, and then return back to what it was that I was originally doing, which in this example is making this pile of earrings that I'm supposed to be doing. Why? Because if you switch from one productive task to another productive task, then you are no longer procrastinating. You are actually accomplishing things that are on this list of things that you need to do. For example, a to-do list, right? So as an entrepreneur, it's extremely important that we value our business and our time as much as we value the time that we give to others and the time that we set into other businesses, right? Or other people's businesses. And if we're doing this on a regular basis and we're setting up our day so that we block off periods of time that we're going to work on a particular task, when we get restless, when you get restless the next time working on your business, I am encouraging you, rather than saying, okay, I'm not going to work on this particular task anymore, I'm going to move on to this, or never even starting it in the first place, rather than doing that, I'm going to encourage you to start the task. But before you start it, come up with another task that when you get tired or when you get a little bit restless from sitting in one spot for a long period of time, come up with another task that you can also go and do and accomplish, and then get back to the original task at hand. That way we are achieving our goals and we are accomplishing all of the things that we want to do on a regular basis. Okay. Tip number 8. I want you to set a timer and I want you to work against the clock, right? So imagine, you ever been in those really enthusiastic workplaces where they set down, okay, team, in the morning they have these team meetings. Okay, team, we're going to go and get 10 people to join our company. We're going to tell 15, we're going to call up 15 of our family members and we're going to tell them about this excellent marketing plan that we have. We're going to bring in 5 referrals. I mean, they come with this whole action plan, right? And then they set you out to go and accomplish this task in a certain amount of time, which would be whatever your shift is. I want you to do the same thing for yourself. I want you to come up with an action plan. I want you to talk to yourself literally. Okay, today I'm going to, let's use the same example. I'm going to make this packet of earrings, these 10 pairs of earrings that I have that I already cut out the materials for. I'm going to put my earrings that I make on social media, and I'm going to make a pin about the earrings on Pinterest, right? And you get all enthusiastic about it and you put your emotion into it. Why? Because when you put your emotion into something and when you're enthusiastic about it, your subconscious brain, you're tricking your subconscious brain to be like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do this. Let's work on this. We could do this. It's literally about activating the subconscious mind power. How do geniuses become geniuses? They activate their subconscious mind. They make their subconscious mind work for them 24/7. Not just the brain that has the information, but the part of your brain that's talking to you when you don't realize it's talking, and that's daydreaming or having worthless mind chatter. Instead of doing those things, you're going to be talking to yourself and encouraging yourself to achieve your goals, right? And so in the morning, I want you to be enthusiastic about what it is that you're setting out to do. And then after you're enthusiastic about what it is that you're setting out to do, then you're going to work against the clock. You're going to literally set a timer on your phone or on your alarm clock, whatever way you want to do it. And you're going to set a time frame that you're going to do that. And you're going to see how much you can achieve. You're going to set a goal out and see how much of that goal you can achieve in that time. I do this every time I clean my house. Say, for example, I need to clean my house and it's a lot of tasks that I need to do, but by 2 o'clock, I'm supposed to be going to an event. What I'm going to do is that morning, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write a list. Okay, clean the bathroom, wash the dishes, mop and sweep all floors upstairs, put in 5 loads of laundry, sweep and mop downstairs, dust off counters, right? I'm going to say, okay, I think it's going to take about say 20 minutes for me to clean the bathroom. It's going to take 15 minutes for me to wash the dishes. It's going to take 45 minutes for me to clean the downstairs and it's the upstairs as far as like sweeping and mopping, right? And it's going to take me, I don't know, an hour to fulfill whatever the last task is. And I know that I have to wash 5 loads of clothes. I'm going to put down on my list, okay, wash a load of clothes. Then I'm going to clean the bathroom. Then I'm going to wash another load of clothes. Then I'm going to do the dishes. Then I'm going to wash another load of clothes. And then I'm going to sweep and mop the floor. Then I'm going to wash another load of clothes. And then I'm going to do this last task. Okay, during that time period, I've now washed 4 loads of clothes, right? And I've completed all the tasks on my list. And I'm going to set up a time for them. So I know that to go and say divide all the clothes up that I need to wash might take me 20 minutes, right? So I divide all the clothes up. I put them into piles. All right. I'm going to take the basket of clothes. I'm going to drop them in the wash machine. I'm going to go clean the bathroom. When I get done cleaning the bathroom, I'm going to take that load of clothes, that second load of clothes, I'm going to take them downstairs, put them in the wash machine. The other load is going to go into the dryer. Then I'm going to go and clean the dishes. So now I'm accomplishing these different tasks. And on my list, say I start at 9 o'clock in the morning and I got to be out of my house by 2 to be at an event at 3. I'm going to set up all of my stuff from 9 to 12 to get it done. And after I get everything done and boom, 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 I'm going to put times next to it. So 9 a.m., I'm going to wash the first load of clothes. 9:10, I'm going to clean my bedroom. Clean the bathroom. 9:45, I'm going to put in the second load of clothes. Okay. 9:55, I'm going to go wash the dishes. After I wash the dishes, say 10:20 or 10:30, I'm going to put in another load of clothes. I literally itemize everything on my list. And after I itemize it, I put a time next to it. And what that does, and I set a timer on my phone for each of those time slots. And what that does is it makes me race against the clock. And then what you find is that you completed, say, a list of 10 things that were small tasks, but they were important for you to complete. And they cleared up your mind and they cleared up your space and your energy. So now that my space is clean, I can go out, do whatever I have to do at 3 o'clock, and I can come back whatever that time is. And even when I walk into a clean house and then my house is clean and it's prepared for the next day. And so I want to encourage you guys to set a timer and work against the clock. Literally write down the tasks that you want to complete. And then as you're completing them, or as you're thinking about completing them, think about how much time they're going to take and put a time next to it. And that timer is going to ring on all those times and it's going to make you race against the clock and become extremely, extremely productive. Okay. Tip number 9. I want you to set obtainable goals. What does that mean? I want you to set goals that you know that you can reach. I want you to do 3 small goals and 1 large goal a day. Now, on this procrastination diet, the only thing that you're going to be writing down are the large goals. And those large goals are going to be things that you've been procrastinating for any amount of time. It could have been a day, it could have been a year. You're going to write those things down on this list. And after you write those things down, you're going to brainstorm, okay, I have 3 other small things that I can do. And those small things will be things that are on your to-do list. But I want these things to be obtainable. Why is it important that they are obtainable, you ask? It's important that they are obtainable because as you make this list of things and you write down what it is that you want to accomplish, you're going to check them off. Why is it important to check them off? Because when you get to the end of the day, you're going to get this sense of self-achievement, this sense of empowering your own self to continue on this procrastination diet. Because when you look at your list and you see you have a list of 4 things and everything that you put on the list is marked off, you're going to feel extremely empowered to continue to be in a non-procrastination state. Right? And so that's going to encourage you the next day to also achieve another 4 or 5 things, right? But if you make a list of 15 things, and out of the list of 15 things that you know that you don't have the time to do, you only get done 2 or 3, you feel like, dang, What was the point of me even, trying to do this? Like, I failed at that. See, this is why I procrastinate. And then you get into the negative mind chatter. So we want to only be encouraging ourselves. We want to only be doing positive mind chatter. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to set up our time and our list to be things that we know that we can accomplish. We're going to be realistic about the amount of time that it takes for us to achieve a task. And the way that you do that is by doing that race against the clock timer thing that I told you to do, because that's going to give you, say, for example, you think it's only going to take you 15 minutes to wash the dishes, and then you get in the kitchen and it takes you 30. Now, your timers went off, right? But because your timer went off, you're not going to stop washing the dishes. You're going to continue to wash the dishes. You're going to move the timer down a little bit for that next thing, right? And so what that does is the next time when you go to write down, wash the dishes as one of the small things on your to-do list, you're going to allot enough time the next time for washing the dishes. And so that gives you a clear concept of time, because time is something we can't get back. And a lot of times we procrastinate, but when we procrastinate, we are wasting valuable minutes, seconds, which turns into hours, which turns into days, which turns into years of our life. And we don't realize, man, okay, if I waste 2 hours every single day, that 2 hours becomes 14 hours a week, right? And that 14 hours a week turns into however many hours a month, which turns into however many hours a year. That's a lot of time. Every single breath that we take is valuable. Every single day that we're able to wake up and be alive is a valuable moment. We don't have the time to procrastinate, sisters and brothers. We don't have the time. We just have to do what we need to do right now, because there's no better time than the present. Okay, tip number 10. Start now. Start now. When you end this video, write down your list of 30 things you want to do on your procrastination diet. Think about and brainstorm the things that you want to achieve and that you have been wasting your time on and have not been doing. And after you do that, start one of those things today. Don't wait until tomorrow. I don't give a darn if it's 12 o'clock at night. Pick one of the small things on your list and do it now. That way, you're getting yourself in the habit of doing now and not later. We are not going to put off for tomorrow what we can do today. We are going to take every minute of our life as if it is our last. And that way, when you live every single minute of your life as if it is your last, when you look back in your hopefully old age, when this, time is getting nearer to when you may be transitioning into the next realm, you can look back and be like, I accomplished pretty much everything that I wanted to do. I don't have any regrets. I don't have anything that I feel like I could have done better, because you would have used every single moment, every single hour, every single second of your life to the best of your ability. Okay. Tip number 11, just the last one, is I want you to make the plans that you have from your procrastination diet and your to-do list. And I want you to get into the habit of using a planner. Why a planner? A planner allows you to write down everything that we want to do. And I'm not talking about using an app, because using an app and writing it down is two different things. When you write something down, it is making it be engraved, once again, in that subconscious mind. When you are simply texting it into your phone or sending yourself a memo or a note, you're not activating the subconscious mind. You're simply putting it into a device to be a brain for you and to give you a reminder. It's nothing wrong with using reminders on your phone, right? But we want to be activating our subconscious mind, because the more we get in the habit of using our subconscious mind, the more we get in the habit of using our full brain power. And when we use our full brain power, we now have all the power of the universe working with us. I'm sure you guys have heard of The Secret. I'm sure you guys have probably read the book, or maybe even heard people just talking about it or watched a movie. The subconscious mind and the power of the subconscious mind is more than you can ever fathom. And the way that we're going to begin to start to train our minds, our subconscious minds, to be unapologetically excellent is we're going to begin to write down what it is that we want to accomplish instead of just telling people we know about it, or instead of just putting it into our phone and texting. We want to make sure that we're writing down every single thing that we think of. And this also allows you to do something else that is important. It allows you to park your thoughts, right? If you are not, I call this activity parking your thoughts, because every time something comes into my mind and I run it through my mind, if I write it down, I don't have to keep thinking about that thing anymore. I don't have to worry about constantly, oh man, I might forget that. Let me remember to do. I don't have to do that. I write it down and I go back to the note that I wrote down at whatever point in my day when I look at my planner again, and I'm seeing, okay, this is here as a task, this is here as a task, this is here as a task. Okay, I checked that off, Okay, I still have this one thing left to do. There's not leaving any space for my mind to be cluttered with these constant thoughts and remembering of, oh man, I don't want to forget that. I don't want to forget that. Write it down. Park your thoughts. Whatever it is that's just coming up on your mind, write it down in your journal. Write it down on a memo, write it down on a notepad, write it down in your planner, whatever it is that you're using, write it down. And when you write it down, you park your thoughts, and that frees up more of your subconscious mind. All right, this video has been long enough. I'm not going to speak to you guys anymore. I hope these tips have been helpful for you. These are things that I have been doing and I have been using, and it has been taking me out of the state of procrastination and into the state of action, right? And so I want us to be in this journey of unapologetically excellent. Hashtag unapologetically excellent together. I don't want us to be stay in any spaces of stagnation, and I definitely don't want you to be in a state of stagnation while I am otherwise moving forward. I want us to do this together. Okay, so I love you, family. Peace. If you have not already, please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification button so that you can be up to date with every time I post a video. I hope that this was helpful for you, and I love you guys. See you later.